Hi there, it's Professor Monty. Let's look at rational exponents. So remember, a rational number is a number that can be written as a fraction. So we've got exponents that are fractions. Here's the key to this. If I've got a to the m over n, if I just had a to the m, we know what that means. That m is just the power. So the fractional part, the m, the denominator is actually the root. So if I have a to the m over n, I can think of it as a to the m and then the nth root. Or alternatively, maybe it's easier to do the nth root first and then raise it to the m power. Either way, the m is the power, the n is the root. So let's look at some examples how we can apply this. So I've got 16 to the 1/4 power. Well, that just means the fourth root, remember the number on the bottom is the root, number on the top is the power, of 16 to the first, or just 16. Well, 16 again, we can divide it out. 2 goes into that 8 times, 2 goes into that 4 times, 2 goes into 4 twice. So 16 is really 2 to the 4th. So this is the fourth root of 2 to the 4th. The 4's cancel each other out. The fourth root of 2 to the 4th is just 2, and that's my answer. Okay, 2 to the 4th power is 16, or the 1/4 root of 16 is 2. Let's look at another one. So again, the root is the 2. This time, I still know the power is the 1. I'm just not going to write that as the power because that's not going to change anything. So it's really the square root. We usually don't put the 2, as you know, of 9xy. Well, I know the square root of 9 is 3. The square root of xy, I don't know, so I have to leave that as the square root of xy. Notice I'm not putting the 2 here now. We typically don't. And so that's the idea. The 1/2, I didn't take half of 9, I took the square root of 9 and got the 3. All right, here's another one. Now we've got different numbers for the power and the root, neither one of them being a 1. So it's the third root of 8. This time what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the third root first and then square it. I could square first and then take the square root, but then the number in the middle gets really big. And then it's going to simplify to the same answer. But if I take the third root of 8, remember 8 is 2 times 2 times 2, 2 to the third. So that's just 2. So now I get 2 squared, which is just 4. And you can check, you could have gone the other way. You could have done 8 squared first and got 64. And then the third root of 64 is also 4. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. Okay, but oftentimes it's easier to do the root first. Similar, that's what I'm going to do here. The 2 is the root, so it's the square root of 25 and then cubed. Again, we usually don't put that there, but that's what that means. Well, the square root of 25 is just 5, so I get 5 cubed, 125. So work with these. Remember, the number on the bottom is the root, the number on the top is the power, as it's always been. And you'll get used to this. This is an important concept. We're going to use it here in algebra, but if you go on to higher math classes, especially algebra, you're going to use this quite a bit. So get comfortable with it, get familiar with it, and you'll do great.